philomaths, welcome back to my channel. My name is Daphne if you are new, and if you are not, welcome back. If you saw my YouTube short, the language lottery, I titled it, then you will know which language that I drew, because I have been wanting to accumulate different languages and learn different languages. I have pretty much stuck with Spanish, but I have been wanting to add more. I just had no idea what I wanted to include next. So I just decided to draw my next language, and it just so happened that Korean was the one that I drew. So I'm going to start learning the Korean language, and I am going to take you along for the journey. This will be a sort of DIY education along with me. So if you are wanting to learn Korean and you have no idea where to start, I am there with you. So if you want to follow me along in my journey and figure out how to learn Korean, then please keep watching. I am going to share some tips on how to learn as I go. So it's going to be really, really fun. Okay, so I started researching Korean language, and I first Google searched Korean language textbook PDF free, and there were a few things that popped up, and I was not sure which one to click on because I have no knowledge of anything Korean related, so I am literally starting from scratch. So I came across a couple of links, and one of them had a few, I think, chapters or different books, and it was labeled differently. And I was a little bit unsure of where to start. And then I found another textbook, an official textbook, and I will leave the link to both of those, if I can find them again, in the description box below. But the textbook was very helpful. I decided, based on the layout of that textbook, that I'm going to start learning the alphabet essentially first, because Korean has a completely different alphabet than English. So that is where I'm going to start. I think the vowels are first. Yeah, so I'm going to start with the vowels. And I am trying to click on the YouTube icon, but I do not think it's clickable. So I'm going to look up on YouTube Korean language alphabet or Korean language vowels and see what pops up. Okay, so I found a video, and I will leave a link to that in the description box too. So it goes over the Korean Hangul vowels. I think that's how you pronounce it. It looks like Korean has 21 vowels, so that is interesting. So based on the video that I just watched, I think what I'm going to do to study for this language is I'm going to get a piece of paper. Basically, I'm going to draw the symbols for the vowels on music paper, because when I was watching the video, it seemed like it was kind of musically related. That's kind of what it's reminding me of. So I think I'm going to study the vowels like that and maybe the rest of the alphabet. But we are just starting with the vowels. So, because there are 21 vowels alone, so I don't know how many consonants there are or how that works in Korean, but yeah.
Okay, so I have been trying to study Korean, not very often because I did not want to overwhelm myself, as I had mentioned in my September monthly reset. But I have studied a couple days in the first week of September. Okay, so the first step when learning a language from scratch is to know the alphabet. If you are starting with English, for example, and you are learning Italian, then you already know the alphabet to some extent. However, if you are learning Korean, like I am from English, then you are starting over, basically. You don't know the alphabet. So to jump in and learn different sentence structures and words is going to be very difficult. So I highly recommend starting with the letters or the alphabet. In Korean, they call it the Hangul vowels, and then they also have consonants. So there's 21 vowels and 14 consonants. So I would recommend looking up some YouTube videos. I will leave a few linked down below in the description box, and that way you can follow along with those. If you are still having some trouble, then I recommend looking up more YouTube videos, and you could try a Google search just to find someone that can basically explain it in a way that you can understand and make sense to you. So I started learning the vowels first and then the consonants, because that's kind of the layout that I found in an online textbook. That is what I am starting to learn. I need to go over it more often because it is very different from what I'm used to. So repetition is going to be very important. Okay, so the steps that I would follow when learning any new language is, first, I would look up a textbook. So type in, Korean if you're studying Korean, like I am, Korean textbook, PDF, something like that. And then see what pops up and get an idea of how an academic setting would lay it out. I already did this, so for Korean, or really any language, I would highly recommend learning the alphabet first, because you cannot learn anything in a new language if you cannot make words from the alphabet and then words lead you to sentences. So it kind of makes sense. So after you find a textbook that you think you would enjoy and would like to follow, then you could start looking up YouTube videos. So I found one, and I'll leave it linked in the description box below. In that textbook, it mentioned Hangul vowels first, so I started learning the vowels, and then I looked up the consonants. You could reverse it. You could look up the consonants first and then the vowels. However, it seems like there are more vowels in Korean. There's 21 vowels and 14 consonants, so it might be more important to learn the vowels first to kind of get you familiar with the language. And so right now I'm just going over the Hangul vowels and consonants. I'm having to go over it quite frequently, and I haven't repeated it enough times yet. So I'm still on this step because there are a lot of vowels, and I think, let's see, in total there's 21 vowels, 14 consonants. That's 35 alphabetical characters. So that's a lot. There's only 26 in the American alphabet. So there's a wider range in Korean. So and they're all different from English. And of course, they're not written in the standard alphabet that I'm used to. They're written in some sort of like musical character form, I guess I would describe it as. So yeah, I'm still having to repeat that and get used to the vowel sounds. And once you kind of know how to write it and you get familiar with the sounds and the writing, I would focus on either learning how to write it first. I would probably do that. I think that's what I'm doing first. And then I'll practice the pronunciation second. You could also do it simultaneously. You can learn both simultaneously, but it might be easier to focus on one and then focus on the other one because it is a lot to take in. And in Korean also, they have Hangul vowels. That's what it's called in Korean. But I think there are regular vowels, and then there are diphthong vowels. I forget the amount of each one, but again, I'll leave a link to the video that I found explaining that in more detail in the description box. You can find all of the videos and textbooks and everything that I'm referencing in the description box, so that way you can learn Korean along with me or learn at your own pace. And then also there's a couple of different ways you could write it out to learn Korean specifically. I was considering writing it in like a musical sheet sort of format, because you could really look at it like music. It sort of sounds like that if you watch some YouTube videos learning the vowels and consonants. And then another way is obviously just to write it down like you would any English word or Italian word or whatever language you know, and just learn it that way and repeat writing it over and over again until you get it. So that's how I'm going to do it. That's how I'm going to learn the written form. And then for pronunciation, I'll just have to listen to audio and listen to the YouTube videos over and over again to get that down. Those are my tips so far. I'm still learning the basics right now, so that's all of the tips I have so far. But as I progress, I will share my progress and more tips as I come across new material and maybe create new ways of learning different aspects of the language.